Hey guys, what's going on? It's SFM06 here with some more Battlefield 3 multiplayer goodness. And this is going to be a video of my favourite carbine or engineer weapon in Battlefield 3, and that is the HK53 or the G53. It's called the G53 on Battlelog. I think it might have been renamed for the PC, but that patch, if it even is out, hasn't come to the PS3 yet. And the reason this gun, hey, look at this guy. Oh hi, I'm just going to sit there and not even look at Mr. Flanker as I arm the MCOM pretty quickly there. We only lost 2 tickets now. This is my favourite gun because it's so solid, which is something that's pretty rare in carbines in Battlefield 3. Most carbines are, you know, pretty bad over range, and while the G53 or the HK53 still suffers from the basic carbine formula of shooting marshmallow bullets at long range, it holds its own if you get the jump on the guy. You can get a few shots off before he can get the shots off on you, which is why I like it. The only real problem with it is the hipfire accuracy. So if you want to, once again I'm using suppressor, which I use on all my guns, but if you don't want to use that, like I saw some guy in one of my other videos saying that suppressors on assault rifle suck, if you don't want to use it, that's fine. It might be better for you if you put on a laser sight to help with that hip fire, because it can be a little bit annoying when you're right next to a guy and your hip fire just doesn't manage to kill him even though it should. So, if obviously I'm playing here in Operation Metro Rush on the attacking side, my team in this game is pretty decent, I would say, but unfortunately my squad mates are pretty much all recon, which isn't a ridiculously bad thing. As you can see here, it takes me ages to get that guy with my hip fire. It's not a ridiculously bad thing, but the fact that they're my squad mates and not just my teammates means that my spawn points, my mobile spawn points, which are my teammates, are pushed pretty far back, and if I die, I have to respawn pretty decently far away. So get out of here, hey glitch man. Going and plant this objective with nobody on my team anywhere near me. And I'm just thinking to myself, I wonder how well I'm going to do defending this by myself. I take out that guy, just try and run away from him. I don't do a very good job there, but I suppose I don't really have much of a chance. This other team, as you can see, when they kill me, they have a decently low level on average. Most of their players are pretty decently low, but that's not really ridiculously bad. They're not ridiculously bad, and they do hang around the MCOMs a fair bit, and I just get stuck in a bad spot here. Just get stuck in the middle of nowhere with a million people shooting at me, which is just terrible. But the other team does group fairly close to the MCOMs and does a pretty good job of defending. So as you can see, once again, both my squad mates are just sitting there trying to snipe, and they're getting mortared by some guy on the other team. So pretty much most of the time I'm assaulting their lines with pretty much me, and I think there's maybe one other squad of guys that is actually attacking the MCOMs and actually going for the arm of the plant. Not that the recons aren't attacking the MCOMs, but they're too far away to actually physically plant the bomb themselves. And the HK53, getting back on really the topic of this, as you can see, just before that guy grenade launching me straight to the face, it has very little recoil in comparison to a lot of the other guns. Just quickly running through the other carbines, start with like the M4A1, or as you unlock it later on, the M4, which is the burst mode variant. Although a lot of people seem to like this gun, and I liked it a lot in the beta. I don't know, it's just fallen out of favor with me. I don't really like it as much, although I do use the M4, the burst version, because it seems to have a decent amount of recoil and a lot of muzzle flash, which gets in the way from me just going fully automatic at, you know, medium ranges, and that's why I don't use that one. The Scar H has a pretty small clip, which I don't like. I don't like using really anything with less than 30 bullets, and the UMP with 25 in the clip and 1 extra in the chamber is sort of in between. But anything with 20 bullets, I find it annoying to use, because probably once every couple of matches, and you'll see it later on here in this gameplay, I'll just run around and flank behind guys that are all bunched up for whatever reason, and I'll come across 5 guys with a backstone, and if I have a gun with only 20 bullets in the clip, as I'm holding circle here, I don't know why it won't let me plant, but whatever. If I only have 20 bullets in the gun, I only find myself having to shoot out against 5 guys. I maybe kill 2 of them before my clip runs out, and then I only have my pistol and my knife left to kill the other guys. So I don't really like using guns with a small magazine. I don't know what this other team are doing. You can see there I die, and there maybe 2 or 3 other guys, like this guy right next to the MCOM, and I know they just don't seem to want to defuse it, which is good for me. Our team moves on to the next base, down into the subway tunnels, and as you'll see in a minute, I think about helping my team here and like getting them out. Then I decide, you know what, my team hasn't really been pushing up with me. They haven't really been, most of my assaults have been single man, which I know is partly my fault. You know, the mic communication on Battlefield 3 for PS3 is pretty bad, it's not the best. So I just hip fire that guy, and then I think around here I just decide, nah, I'll just leave those enemies there and my teammates can deal with them, and I'll just push up and try and get a little surprise attack on these guys before they're actually ready. But as you can see here in Operation Metro, it is obviously the most choke pointy map on the game, with maybe the exception of Grand Bazaar. But what you really need to do is, if you're on another system and you do have working voice chat, you want to use that and try to spread out your forces even. If you all just rush up in one of these corridors, then pretty much you're going to get cut down pretty easily from mostly support guys and snipers. And so what you really want to do is just have preferably a squad each, a squad in every sort of attack route, I suppose. And I don't know what happens here, I just get in an awkward spot and just get absolutely smashed. But you want to have preferably just one squad of 4 on each attack route, spread out your forces, and just hopefully one of those squads will be able to get around. As you can see here, looking at this recon, most of my squad mates, not necessarily my teammates, but definitely my squad mates, aren't up, which annoys me. You often see me at the start of games swapping over squads, or even in the middle of the game swapping over squads to try and get into a squad with a full 4 players. And that's just because I like having those spawn points that are actually close to the objective, not having to run all the way there and getting cut up halfway through. And obviously the advantage of having good squad mates with good squad perks on actually helps me out a lot. I was going to accept that revive there because that would have been stupid. I was going to go myself shot. And you can still see a lot of my teammates are still just hunkered down here. And I see a guy down there, and I can't really get in a good position to shoot him. Just there, you saw him flick through. So I decided to take this other route. And I don't know if people know about this, but these little crevices in the wall, if you just go prone and just, see here, just knife the grating on, you can just exit the tunnel halfway through. It's really helpful. And oh hi, mister. I'm just going to sit there under this tunnel waiting for these guys to come out. And teammate, get your flash out of my eyes. That's really annoying, and I sort of just panic on that guy trying to go full auto and just fail hard. And he gets me with his famous. His full service star famous. Oh, it wasn't him actually, it was some other guy on the other side of the map. Whatever. But we still have a decent amount of tickets. Still seem to be going strong, and that was just a terrible spawn point. Why would you do that to me? Same guy. And we're still going strong. Our team slowly, as you'll probably see throughout this match, slowly decides to start going more for the objectives, physically start actually trying to get in there and plant the charges. As you can see here, pretty much my whole team, my whole squad mates, which at the start were just recon snipers way back, I've decided to go medics. All three of them have gone medic, which actually helps me here. And this is the one other squad I was talking about. These few guys ahead of me are pretty much the only other people pushing up. And this is a pretty good spot right here where I am, because that hallway in there, this hallway right here, this little one in front of me, it can either be a death trap or just an epic defense position, depending on how you use, depending on where the enemies are, because it has multiple exit routes and pretty good lines of sight if the enemies don't know you're there. But if they do know you're there, they can just come in and swarm you and you have no chance. So you can see there, even though I wasted a lot of my bullets there, it wasn't the best, it's still pretty good. The G53, HK53, whatever you want to call it, pretty good at this. At obviously close range, it's like any carbine at close range, it rips them up. And my teammates just completely disregard this guy right here. At close range, it rips them up. So the only real fail is the hip fire accuracy, but that's alright. It's got a medium high rate of fire, it's got pretty low recoil, all the things that you want. So I would pretty much describe this as a bad assault rifle in terms of range and damage over range, but a good assault rifle in terms of, I know it's not an assault rifle, I'm just calling it that, a good assault rifle in terms of close range. So if you come across a guy at long range that has like an F2000 or a Famous or something, I wouldn't recommend actually staying there and trying to shoot him in open combat. But if you can, get the jump on them, it's still pretty decent, and if you're a better shot than them, you'll have a pretty decent chance of getting the kill and surviving and going on to your objective. So here you can just see these guys don't really know I'm here. This is a pretty good spot up here on those stairways. I know that guy's doing his camping, but he's failing hard at it. This is one thing I want to do. If you're by yourself and you arm an MCOM, don't sit next to it because you will die. If you're going to sit next to it, you need at least 2 or 3 people to be watching all the ways they can come, especially in a place like this where it's a corner. And you can see here I'm just running around in little circles, and every time I come around there's another guy trying to disarm the MCOM, and finally my teammates get there. I got one of those guys somehow, and then I go down. But I'm on 26 for 12 at this point in time, and I'm going pretty well. We're up to the second last set of objectives, which is probably the hardest on this map. If you can get past these sets of objectives, you're pretty much 99.9% of the time you're going to get past the last set of objectives. This set is a set which people seem to have trouble with, especially with, smalls and M320s and all that sort of thing. People seem to have trouble with getting through here. So the main thing about this that you want to know straight up is there's 3 ways to go. There's this way on this little corridor with the little stairs. There's the main stairway just to the left, and there's sort of the stairway behind the main stairway that sort of brings you up into the middle, and that's what I really want to focus on. You can see this stairway that I'm running through there. It's pretty underused, and because underused, it's not very well guarded either. You see my teammate, he stopped on those stairs. That's not what you want to do. You want to straight away run towards B, and I take a claymore here for my team, I didn't even see it. But you want to straight away run towards B and try and get in behind. Usually there'll be a few guys sitting there in that little part, and you'll be able to pick him off and hopefully let all these teammates, which you can see here, who are always sitting in this corridor, hopefully give them a break, give them a chance to, get up to the hallway and hopefully take B. A, I don't really see as a very good objective in this map in terms of something that you want to attack, just because you can pretty much get it at any time. There's no really good defense positions for it, is pretty easy to take. So at best, A, you just want to use as a diversion if like someone on your team captures A or plants the charge on A, or you yourself plant it. You want to use that as a diversion while the enemy goes over there to try and defuse it. You want to go to B, and I think that's what I do later on in this gameplay. Somebody plants A, and I go and get B. And you can see here, all of my teammates pretty much, except for one guy which is there on the minimap by himself, are all in that corridor, which means that all the enemy are always going to be in this corridor. And I throw a grenade here just because I don't think they're going to notice me. And this guy does. And I sort of die. I still get a kill with the grenade, but wasn't as good as I'd hoped. As I hoped that would turn out. But you know, it was fine. It still worked out. And you can see now, miraculously my teammates just decide to not go up that hallway. They all just simultaneously decide that that one corridor is a bad idea. So you can see there, they all go over there, attack A, and plant it. As you can see here, I would have run straight to B if that guy hadn't been standing just outside and got me down to pretty low health. But I still decided to go there, get a nice double kill there. And you can see there's hardly any enemies compared to what there usually is on B when A is on. So I get that one guy and I try and run away, and I sort of get gunned down. But it's alright, the guy who gunned me down is dead. Even though none of my teammates seem to be around this area, the enemy doesn't seem to want to defuse this one either. And as you can see, there's only one or two of my teammates there, but we still get the destroyer on the Ancrom, and we are ready to move up to the next base, which is, might not be the easiest base, but your team is obviously good enough after getting past that third base that it's definitely a lot easier than third base. So if you can get past the third base, you can definitely get past the fourth base. And if something goes ridiculously wrong, or your teammates leave, or the enemy gets a lot more teammates if they were had less team than you, or if something goes horribly wrong, that's the only way you're pretty much going to lose out on the fourth objective. If you get up to this point, you should pretty much always win. It's a pretty easy objective to get, and it's not really that hard to get out of this area here. This guy I think kills himself with his stupid ass USAS. So I'm not too sad that I died there. But those doors are there on the right, the front doors, which I never go out of because there's usually people camping in those buildings who will just kill you. And the left doors are also a pretty good way to get around. Once again, variety is what you want. You don't want to continuously go to one position. You want to be spread out, and if you keep going to one position and the enemy goes there, well then you want to swap positions and get in behind the enemy and plant the charge. So here, once again, B for me is the primary concern here, because you can pretty much always get A. It's never a hard objective to get. Pretty much if your team's good enough to get here, B is the only stumbling block. So you can see there, I just continuously bypassed A just to get to B and on the objective. And I can see a whole squad is there, there's another guy there. So I don't really have to worry about getting to B. And then as I come on these stairs, all these guys are sitting here. I got maybe 4 kills there, and then I get that guy there and get knives in the back. Get a whole bunch of assist points, doesn't matter. You can see that one sort of chain, I got over 1,000 points, which, you know, I thought was pretty good. And I get revived, which is always a bonus. You know, it doesn't happen very often in this game, except definitely not on PS3, I suppose. So pretty good. And this game is just winding down. We've got A. I'm just trying to take some pot shots to some guys running around in their spawn. Doesn't work ridiculously well. I end up getting that guy, and then the game should end somewhere near here. So on that last objective you saw, we only lost 14 tickets. It's very easy to take. The team won. My final score was 41-18, 7,610 points. Should be MVP. As you can see here, I got a pretty decent amount of ribbons. So it was a pretty good game overall. Probably my best one for a while. I know that a lot of my videos are on Operation Metro and Grand Bazaar and that sort of stuff. That's just because I want to focus on the gunplay in these videos, not necessarily vehicle combat. So obviously these are the best maps to get in gunplay, and hopefully you understand why I'm doing it on these maps. And you can just see me looking through my ribbons again. Just sort of, I didn't really see the MVP ribbon first time, and then just looking for that. Slowly make my way up to Engineer Service Star 3, 38 kills with the HK53. It's definitely a gun that I would recommend you use. Please like and favourite and subscribe, and I will see you later.